Hello folks, it's Fuzz here and welcome back once more to Final Fantasy 15. And we're making good progress now through the game. We're entering the latter stages of the story. But before we actually carry on with the story, which is a dungeon by the way, which we're going to be heading to next, I'm going to take a brief detour and head back to the old world. We're going to see, first of all, if some of our weapon upgrades are ready for us, and secondly, maybe do some hunts as well, just to break them up so we're not doing them all at the end of the game. Since hunts can be a little bit tedious in my opinion, due to the fact you can only pick up one at a time. So I'm just going to speak to this tipster here. He's not going to have anything interesting for us, but he might just put a couple of things on the map, which is always good to have. And with that done, we're actually just going to head over to the bed here, because this is the only way now back to the old world. And we're actually kind of going back into Noctis' memories. So I guess everything we're going to be doing, Noctis has already done, and we're just going to be experiencing that. At least that's the lore way of explaining how we're going back to the old world, even though otherwise in the story it wouldn't be allowed. And Umbra is going to be the means by which this is possible. So we're going to call Umbra, who's the dog, and Umbra will do the honours for us. We can travel to past Lucis, we can travel to past Artisha, or we can have a couple of other options here, but we're going to go back to Lucis. And that will give us a loading screen, and then will bring us back to Talcott's house. And here come the phone calls, hopefully from Sid.
Howdy, Prince. Do you mind swinging by the garage for a hot minute? We've been experiencing some awful strange shakes back here in Lead. The hunters are already looking into it, but I reckon they could use a couple more hands.
Got it. On our way.
So it looks like there's going to be a new quest there for Cindy. So we'll go and explore that, see what that's about. It's Let Sleeping Mountains Lie. Sounds interesting, and we need to head back to Hammerhead for that one.
Huh.
And we're just going to stay the night here, because that might trigger some more phone calls for us, for other bits that we could get done. For example, we're also waiting from Wiz from the Chocobo Post to tell us that the egg is ready.
Let's call it a day.
Although we might need to do some more hunts for that before that becomes available to us. And what was Gladiolus reading? And here comes the next phone call.
Howdy, it's Wiz from the Chocobo Post.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. That egg went and hatched is all. Y'all should come by and say hi.
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
So we can actually go ahead and complete Wizzy's questline at this point, which is always nice to do. And I'm just going to stay once more, see if we can trigger any phone calls from Sid. Although we might have to go and do a couple more quests before that becomes possible. But we'll see, we'll see. What's the worst that's going to happen? I won't be tallying up our experience for the time being, since I have the experience band equipped. There we go, another phone call.
Yeah.
The work's done. Come and pick your weapon up.
So we've got a few weapons there all ready for us to go and collect. And I believe Sid is actually back in Hammerhead, but we'll just head over and check anyhow while we're here. On the off chance that he was still around, we would have to do a lot of fast travelling. We'll plant our seeds before we forget, since we can continue to trade our harvest with this NPC that's just located by these hail parts here. yes, it has moved. We could actually head up and sort out the next map fragment now.
It's nice to
In
not
fact,
have to
let's
kill
go and do
anything.
that before we forget. Well, as in before we leave here, I should say. And if we head to the second floor dock, this is the first opportunity we've had to actually use this elevator manually, which is why we've not been able to get the map piece up until this point. So we get to take in the pretty views from up here. There might be a photo or two for us to take as well. I'm sure Prompto will point that out to us if that is the case.
Whoa! The view straight out of this RPG I used to play.
Yes, indeed.
Ah.
So somewhere around here we should have the map fragment. There it is.
That's it. The map's complete.
And I bet you X marks the spot.
And it's gotta be good after all that trouble.
Once you've collected all those map fragments,
There's something written
then you'll
on
get
this.
this new quest.
So,
This is meant to be feel good. It isn't working.
Nope, just some guy having fun.
We've come this far. We'll soon find out what our efforts yield.
And once you go and complete this final quest, then the whole quest line itself is complete. We'll go ahead and take the photo.
Take
here.
a shot from here.
good call. Now it's picture time. Let me get this shot. Oh, love the lighting.
And we'll head back down now. Although we can kind of just cheat and use the return to car function. And first things first, we're going to head over to Wizz's Chocobo post and see what it is that has hatched out of that egg. Here we are at Wizz's Chocobo post, and is this the little fella right here? Let's just find the quest icon. There it is. Oh, it's a little black
There y'all
chocobo.
are. Well, here she is.
Oh, hey there. Nice to meet you.
She's adorable. Hard to believe she'll end up growing so big.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Thanks to y'all, she's doing great. You come see her whenever you like, you hear?
Darn right we will. You see this, Nock?
The chick is fortunate to have Wiz for a parent.
For sure. She's gonna be safe here.
Plenty of food.
Yeah, and lots of pals to hang with. She'll do just fine.
So there is a check icon there, but it doesn't seem to do anything. What we can do now, I believe, is actually purchase the best breed in the game. So we'll go ahead and stock up on our rental, since it does reset after using Umbra. And we'll go and speak
Welcome to the Chocobo Post.
Camilla here. And we can see that she's now selling us the Silcus Greens, which boosts all of the bird's abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a cotchel of those, ready for when we go camping. And we'll also just purchase a few cordial greens as well, since they're cheaper, just for emergency use.
Y'all come back now.
And I'm just going to check if Wiz has any hunts available for us, since that's the other reason we did come back.
So what'll it be today? Grab some grub before you go? How
Oh, by
about
the
some
way,
geese salt chips
We
for
can
the
now
road?
eat the Fat Chocobo Triple Decker for 1100 gil, and that actually increases our experience points by 50%, which is a very nice buff. But I'm going to stick with our 30% experience buff for the time being from camping, because of the item drop rate buff it also gives us, and the buff actually lasts longer because of our perks that we've learned.
Reckon I could ask for your help?
Okay, no hunts available from Wiz
Y'all
for the time
come
being.
back soon.
So we'll head over to Hammerhead, speak to Cindy, I think, see what she was harping on about on the phone, and see if Taka has any new hunts for us as well. again.
Great range of wares here.
Paradise for a technophile like you.
The first thing I do want to do while we're back in Hammerhead is just go ahead and speak to Sid and collect the weapons
Can
from
I
him
interest
that we've
you in some
recently upgraded.
shopping?
Might not be a bad idea to stock up.
There you all are. Get ready to be blown away.
So we get the Force Stealer level 2.
Done took your sweet time. Here.
The Plunderers level 2.
There you all are.
And
Here's
finally-
your weapon now.
The Circular Saw level 2 is this? Oh, it's the Circular Saw Plus. Fair enough. And should we see if Sid's got anything else
Good.
for us?
How y'all doing?
Nope, doesn't seem to be. So we'll go ahead and speak to Cindy here. This is the quest that she's given us, and now this is an interesting one. You'll like this. We'll go
Some
ahead and speak to
sizable
her.
seismic activity down south near Longwife. Dave and his boys are on the beat as we speak. It's the darndest thing. Ain't never felt so much as a rumble round these parts. Got a lot of folks worried. Got me worried too. Ain't easy tuning up a shaking chassis. Anywho, hope Dave and y'all can do something.
Let Sleeping Mountains Lie is the name of the quest here. And our first port of call is to go and speak to Dave. Now this isn't part of Dave's quest line, we have actually completed that already. So we're going to go over and fast travel to his location. Here he is.
I see your hunter's instincts brought you all back here. Mine are telling me there's something real shady about these shakes. Got all my hunters foraged in the field for clues as we speak. Even enlisted the help of a fella from Galden. Name's Dino. Real upright fella. Said he found himself a suspect spot. Y'all mind going to check it out for me?
Well, we know who Dino is. So it looks like the quest is going to give us a bit of a cutscene here, which is interesting. Friends made during the journey have caught wind of the incident and gathered at the Longwith rest area. 13 of a possible 14. Now, the reason that there's 13 NPCs here that we know and love, rather than 14, is because one doesn't become available until the end game. So we've not actually had opportunity to speak to them yet. But for now, we'll go ahead and speak to Dino, who looks like he's sweet-talking the ladies here.
Well, I guess my cover's blown. I didn't come here to cook. I came here as an informant. Thought about picking up some ingredients while I was in the area, but now's not really the time for grocery shopping. If the quakes shake the key and our ship stops sailing, our restaurant's sunk. We need to solve this now.
Well, if it is an inch pre octus nay. Dave probably told you, but I'm out here reporting on the earthquake. Since we're on good terms, let me share a little scoop. Word on the street is that the crag itself is the key. That, Crown City chick, Monica? Yeah, well, she's following up on the lead at Longwith for me.
So that actually updates the quest for us. We need to go ahead and speak to Monica, but we can speak to some of our other friends around here as well. First of all,
I see you boys are on
some
the beat
items.
too. Not surprising, given the scale of this incident, if you will. My buddy Dino's been searching for a scoop. Sounds pretty dangerous. Think of how many copies we'll sell. And apparently there are some old legends about Longwife. Past myths back to haunt the present. People will eat it up.
Well, look what the coral dragged in. You boys curious about these quakes too? As it were, I was going through some old biology docs and I stumbled upon something that might pique your interest. Longwife Peak. Oh, baby, this is monumental. I've got to check it out up close.
You dream of driving the open road.
Noctis, my boy, you seen it out there? These quakes have got the guppies scared out of their gills. Wonder if there's a new fish done set them all astir. Whatever it is causing these quakes, it's gotta be a real whopper. Either way, I'm gonna keep on fishing. And don't worry, if I get any good bites, you boys will be the first to know.
So it looks like everybody's interested in what's going on here.
How in tarnation's a man supposed to get any work done when his tools are flying off the shelves all willy-nilly? In all my years living on the outside, I ain't never felt anything like these earthquakes. Ain't good for nothing but giving me a backache. Pooey.
All these recent quakes are giving me the chills. Can't even boil a pot of water without worrying it's gonna spill all over the place. Only got a splash of stock left in the fridge. Like to run dry if these quakes don't quiet down soon.
We heard rumblings of an earthquake around here, and
We're nearly there now. I
out.
know this is a lot of
Someone must be
NPCs
close
to
to the
speak
capital
to
for
here.
comfort. Normally, Jared's notebook has the answer, but it came up blank this time, except for a weird legend about Longwife. Something about the mountain awakening every few centuries and making the earth shake by its rousing. That's the best I got.
Prince Noctis, are you helping look for earthquakes? Well, guess what? I'm helping too! I started looking on Grandpa's notebook, and here's what I found. It said there's a legend about the mountain, and that's all he wrote. Oh, but you know what else? He drew a picture of a turtle. Not only was Grandpa smart, but he was a good drawer.
Sounds like we're getting a few clues here about what's causing these earthquakes. A giant mountain, and the shape of a turtle. Turtle even.
Go for a cold one of these.
What's her name? Holly has to say.
If it isn't my favorite hunters. You looking into what's causing all these earthquakes? Everyone at the power plant's up in arms. They're all wondering if the meteor's got anything to do with them. The company's offering a bonus to anyone who can solve the mystery, so I figured I'd take up the cause and earn some extra gil.
And where's that other person gone that was around here?
Oh,
Kimya.
Come to investigate these earthquakes, have you? Very unsettling they are. A great disturbance in the earth I sense. Something outside the purview of the stars. Whence does all this energy flow?
She's definitely a Yoda, isn't she?
You and I must together seek.
Rightio, so there we have it. Now we need to go ahead and speak to Monica. So we have to speak to Dave. It's the only way we can get out of this place. And if we just open up our map here, we can see where we need to head to. We'll go ahead and target the location. And we're just over a quarter of a mile away, or just under half a mile.
Easy now.
So that's definitely chocobo riding distance. Even without our lovely new silk screens that we are able to feed it.
There in a jiffy!
So we can see it's a very mountainous region. I'm sure some of you, perhaps most of you, have guessed
dangerous after dark around here?
what's going on
Most
around
likely.
these parts at the moment.
We best ponder our lodgings as we go.
Knocked. Overhead.
I'm going on ahead.
Looks like it's just about to get dark here, so hopefully we'll get this quest done
hunt
before
is
the
on.
demons start making their way out to us. And here is Monica with that
thanks,
weird
buddy.
guy. Should we speak to him first, just because we can?
The cause of the quakes? Ah, I'm afraid I must direct you to Monica. I'm simply here to look out for Lady Iris and young Talcott. And
Well,
that's all I have to say.
They're not actually here, so
Apologies for not being of
what
help.
are you doing here? Let's go ahead and speak to Monica.
Good to see you, Prince Noctis. Dustin and I have been investigating the recent tremors in the region. I believe we've discovered the source of the quakes, a long-dormant creature called the Adamantus. The beast is far too dangerous for us to approach. If you decide to venture closer, do exercise caution.
And now the quest updates once more. This time we have to uncover the mystery behind the mountain, which means we need to get a little bit closer.
Kidding aside, this could be better.
Yes, this
So
is an
just stay out of it.
Adamantoise.
No, it's cool. Let's go.
All kidding aside,
Whoa! What is that?
What is this indeed? It's a level 99 giant monster.
Look at the size of it. It's freaking huge.
And now we need to flee, basically, because we have no chance against this thing. This beast here, this giant mountain thing, requires a fully prepped team of like maximum level in order to even have a chance at defeating. So we'll be coming back to this guy later. For now, we're going to follow the quest's advice and run. And as you can see, he's got quite a big hunt area, or mob fiend area, the red barrier. Okay, fella, we'll come back to you a little bit later on. Looks like he's just going back to sleep for the time being anyhow. So that's the end of the quest. And as it just told us, we can actually speak to Tarka at any point now in order to accept it as a quest. But that's the end of the actual Adamantoise quest for now. So, while we're in this area, and as I say, you can just head to Tarka whenever you want to pick that hunter, but there's really no point. In fact, I think you need maximum hunter rank, which we don't have at the moment.
Welcome.
We'll go and speak to this fella, see if
Can
there's any
I
hunts
take your
from
order?
him.
Think you're up to the task?
Looks like there's a couple we can do here. So we'll start with the nighttime hunt since, well, it's nighttime.
Good luck
that would
to
make
you.
total sense.
Good luck, boys.
So I'm not going to make you watch as I do all these hunts. That would just be tedious and boring since we can only do one at a time. But I'm going to start making my way through them and I'll be right back with you. I think I've pretty much just about to finish off the final quest that we can do in this area here. The final hunt rather. I mean, there's probably more hunts available, but I'm just not high enough hunter rank at the moment. Hence the reason why I'm trying to get through some of these hunts now.
Hey, you're alive.
And if I just open up the hunt screen here.
Can I take your order? Think you're up
We
to
can
the
see
task?
that that's everything done for the time being that we can do. We need to be rank 5 for the other hunt that this guy has for us, which is a cactuar type enemy, so that should be fun. But for now, it's time for us to move on. What I've just done is a batch of hunts. I still haven't done all that the game has available for us at the moment. But if I just head over to the menu, you can see that we're now played for 49 hours, which is about 6 hours more than when I last spoke to you, from your point of view, probably a few seconds ago in all honesty. So you've also probably noticed I've got a lot of experience built up from that, and a lot of gil as well. I've started tinkering around with different builds for our team as well in order to make them a little bit more powerful. And what I've generally focused on is Gladiolus, in particular his Impulse ability, which you can learn from the Ascension menu. And Impulse is a very, very strong ability. It's very nice for Gladiolus to use. And in order to make use of that, before I mention how I do that actually, I'm also going to point out that I've been using Ignis's Overwhelm ability as well. If you can couple that with a Bowcaster, which I will show you how to get at some point, it's dead easy. It's a royal weapon, then this will do absolutely devastating amounts of damage. But even just on its own, it's a fantastic technique for Ignis. So for groups of enemies, I generally spam Impulse from Gladios, and for single target bosses or just harder enemies, I've been using the Overwhelm technique. So techniques are only as good as the replenishment rate of your tech bar. So I've basically done everything that's possible to do, at least up to this point, in making sure that that's filled up as quickly as it can be. So if I head over to the techniques here, the one node I haven't yet learned is Quick Tech, because I still need 333 AP for that, and that just accelerates the tech bar replenishment rate, so obviously I do want to get that as soon as possible. But Tech Damage, which also increases the replenishment when Noctis suffers damage, and Tech Strike does the same thing when Noctis does damage, I have learned. And what else can I show you? Oh yes, I've also given Noctis the Tech Turbocharger, which freezes the Armiger bar but accelerates the tech bar in its place. So in most battles that are quite challenging, that tech bar is constantly being filled up.
If a little warm for my
And I do
tastes.
recommend, if possible, to give a ribbon either to Gladios or to Ignis, depending on the battle and depending on which one you'll be using, whose technique you'll be using, because that will stop them from being afflicted by statuses that would prevent them from casting their technique, such as Stop, Poison, Confuse, or whatever the case may be. So one thing you might have noticed as well was that I've also collected a Dark Matter Bracelet, and I'm going to show you how I did that, because you can actually get an infinite source of them. The Dark Matter Bracelet is one of the best accessories in the game. It gives the character it's equipped on a flat 100 strength boost to their strength stat.
Will you be requiring a room?
I think I've also decided as well, and you don't have to do this of course if you're playing along with me, that I'm not going to be levelling up now until we finish the story. Just so if you're not doing all the side quests I've been doing, I don't end up vastly ahead of you in terms of levels. Now we're still getting some nice equipment, and there's not much I can do about that in terms of my power creep, but in terms of actually boosting up stats through levelling, I'm not going to be doing that until after we finish the story, and then all the experience we've tallied up before then can all be added up together. So that 400k XP odd that I've got would equate to about 1.2 to 1.3 million when we stay at the 3 Times Hotel here in Altissia, over at this counter, which would currently boost us up to I think about level 87 or 88.
She doesn't rub shoulders with the Empire by choice.
But level 65, which I'm currently at, should be sufficient now to get us through to the end of the story. So, I'm here in Altissia.
Where are we off to?
To show you how to get the dark matter bracelet that I've collected, and I could do with getting another one anyhow. Now, it is a very, very, very boring grind, sadly. Not much I can do about that. But I'll show you how to do it, and if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't, fair enough. So we're going to start by heading over to the Palsino Street station here. And we'll just skip the journey. And we're going to be playing the Justice Monsters 5
Call
game.
when you need a ride back.
Which isn't a very exciting game, unfortunately. It's fun for about 2 or 3 minutes, then it starts to get boring. So here we've got the 2 standard machines, which you've seen all over the world up to this point. They cost 10 gil to play. But over here we have a unique machine, which is only available here in Altissia, hence the reason we've travelled over. And it costs a whopping 10,000 gil to play.
Huh.
So I recommend just saving your game before jumping into this. Which I'll just go ahead and do here. And you can collect treasures for playing this game. And the amount of treasures you get before you quit determines the prize that you get. And we want to get between 80 and 89 treasures. And that will give us the Dark Matter Bracelet. If we get 99 treasures, then we'll get, I can't remember what it's called, the item, but it sells for 500,000 gil, so it's a good money maker if you want to farm it, but it takes about an hour and a half for each one to get. Or you can actually use that item to craft into, as an item, you know when you add items when you're crafting magic, such as I generally use elixirs or whatnot, you can put that in instead, and not only does it vastly boost the damage of the magic spell that you're creating, but it gives you a lot of them as well, more than 3 or 5. So what we really want to try and do here is just hit the bumpers a lot rather than kill the enemies. By hitting the bumper, we're going to fill up this scoreboard that we can see down the board here. And I'm just going to switch, hopefully, to one that's going to hit that a little bit more regularly. Most of these control the same, these characters. There we go, that one's a little bit better. And as you can see, we're just about to finish up. One trick I've found to hit this bumper is to hold the down key on the left analog stick as you shoot off and just spam the shoot button. Just keep an eye on the health of your characters as well. But there we go, we get 3 of these, whatever those things are, and that gives us 5 of the treasures, which you can see in the top left corner. We need to get that to 80. And we can only do this 4 times per stage. So once we've done it 4 times, if we haven't killed the boss by that point, just race ahead and kill the boss. In terms of actual strategies, see, we didn't get it that time. That one, the chocobo, is completely pointless. If you only get 2 of those wooden block things, you get 2 treasures instead of 5. But yeah, in terms of strategies, you can see that next to each enemy's level, there's like a circle. In this case, a red circle. That means it's a fire-based encounter. So we want to be hitting it with Blizzard, which is the left-hand character in our case. We get another 2 there. So we're well on our way to getting 80, or not as the case may be. But this is the fastest way, and it is actually the easiest way to get the Dark Matter Bracelets. And if you can get yourself into a nice little routine here, then pretty much that's all you can do. And actually we've hit all 4 of those now, so we just need to try and hit this enemy here. By the way, this thing at the top, which boosts you out, is more of a hindrance than anything else. So let's just try and target towards this enemy now. There we go. And it's completely random what you get out of those 4 treasure thingies. You don't have to get whatever it was that I was getting, the wooden blocks. So we're going to go for Blizzard here. The bosses, by the way, are always fire enchanted. So you always want to be hitting those with your blizzard. Okay, and now once we've killed the boss, however many of these 4 orbs you filled up, whether all of them or none of them, they'll reset and you can start again. And this game will just go on until you choose to quit. I don't know why I'm trying to kill enemies here, I need to hit the bumpers. So again, just hold the middle key down, the middle left analog stick down, and that usually gives you the best chance at hitting the bumpers here that are in the centre. But guys, that's pretty much it for this game. Get another 2 there. So I'm going to keep farming. You can pause this game if you want to take a break, but you can't quit from it. Otherwise you'll lose your progress and have to start again. So I'm going to farm these 80 and I'll be right back with you after that. And I've just hit over 80 of those treasures. So with that done, I can basically quit out of playing Justice Monsters 5. Now I do not want to get more because we'll start getting the other tier rewards. And that should give us a Dark Matter Bracelet. Very, very nice indeed. And for 10,000 gil, that cannot be sniffled at. So we're going to stick that on Noctis since I do want to boost his strength up. For now we're going to replace his Ruby Bracelet even with our second Dark Matter Bracelet, and as you can see, gives him a nice strength boost. And when we get a third one then, we'll stick this tech turbocharger on somebody else once we've given them a third accessory slot. So very good. We can also get some magic boosting item equipment from that one as well. I think it's about the 40 token mark, so I'll have to double check that for you. But it does give you 250 magic once you equip the item, and again you can equip up to 3 of them onto a character. So there are other means of getting the Dark Matter Bracelet, including doing the quest for Viv, the final quest for Viv, which we haven't yet done. But that's only because you need to complete every hunt in the game, and you need to do his quest in order to do that. So you won't get the reward just from doing his quest, but by doing all the hunts and his quest, you'll get that reward. Right, so with that done, I think we can, for now, perhaps head back to... Well, actually, while we're here in Altissia, maybe we could go ahead and do Viv's quest and see how we can find this haunted mystery painting. If we go ahead and select his quest, the cursed canvas here, we need to obtain information about the painting, which basically means we need to pick up a hunt at the floating market station. Looks like we need to head to, so we'll do that first. We'll go ahead and skip this nice little gondola ride. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Fantastic. Call when you need a ride back.
I'm hungry.
I was wondering when you might show up. So, what brings you here today?
So we'll start just by talking.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
Quest destinations have been updated, lovely. So now we need to go ahead and join the hunts. So we'll go to the hunts here.
Be forewarned, this won't be a test of luck, but of skill.
And we'll go ahead and select a lost painting. That sounds like the correct one, doesn't it?
It's in your hands now, lads. Then what can I prepare
and
for you,
look
lads?
at some of this food you can eat here, including the Prime. Greatly boosts your stats and increases experience earned. And some of these others are also expensive, but look at this. Experience boost level 10. If you want to spend 8,000 gil, you can get that. I don't right now. But also there's some other nice bits and bobs you can eat from this
Wishing you lads
as well.
a safe return.
I'm hungry.
So I'm not going to be too fussed about eating any food there, despite the fact we've got no buff going at the moment.
She and the barkeep sure are friendly.
Oh, actually, on second thoughts, let's do that.
She wouldn't spend so much time.
Welcome, lads. Feeling a bit peckish, lads?
Since we'll teach Ignis the recipe anyhow, which is something that's quite important. So the lasagna is good if you're going to be fighting elemental monsters. Nullifies fire, ice and lightning attacks. Let's go for it. The experience boost level 10.
Just a moment then, lads.
Is a good bonus as well to grab, even though the buffs
from
restaurants
here it comes.
aren't anywhere near as long as they are from camp because of the ascension tree nodes we've spent or purchased.
You're always welcome here.
She doesn't rub shoulders with the Empire by choice.
Don't forget as well, once you travel back from Altitia
Splendid.
and
Where are
you've
we
used
off
Umber,
to?
you'll need to re-rent your chocobo. Okay, so we want to head, let's just make sure that we've got this selected correctly.
Gentle.
Can't quite seem to see this on that map. Okay, it's here we need to head to.
It has been a pleasure.
So we'll head over to the Ministerial Quarter Station, that makes sense, because it is actually close to where we interacted with the governor of this town when we was doing the story earlier on. And I seem to have selected the wrong quest, which is why it didn't show up.
Fantastic. Call when you need a ride back.
The cursed canvas is actually what we want. And we just need to make our way up here. So Altitia can be a slightly confusing place to make your way around from time to time. But I'm just going to go ahead and save at this point, since I haven't done so since collecting the Dark Matter Bracelet.
Iris is truly
to be losing
a
that.
soul.
Like
If
you?
we died for whatever
No wonder
reason.
you get along like wildfire.
We do have much in common. Like
You're here to deal with the haunting? Go on. The Lakshmi is through there.
Right, so we're getting some more information as we proceed on here. Down we go.
So here we are, about to see the famous painting.
Infamous, more like.
Whew. Anyone else got goosebumps?
So this is the
So,
famous painting that Viv
does
was
the
telling us
Lakshmi-
about.
Whoa! It's big!
What's that?
Is it fog?
Whoa. No friggin' way.
Pretty bold of her.
So indeed, this painting does in fact appear to be haunted, with a demon known as the Chadarnuk. So actually Promptos took the picture now, which means the quest itself is done. We can see that this demon thing is actually resistant to a whole bunch of stuff, including physical weaponry. But we can actually hit it with fire. So let's go ahead and do that. Head to the right option here. There we go. Hopefully we'll get some nice damage going on.
Ah, this isn't what I signed up for.
Just do it, okay?
Oh, Mr. Nice Guy. Ah, I got it, you guys.
That was good.
Time to take her down.
And our physical weapons won't do a whole lot, unfortunately. But we can try our tech trees. Including Ignis is overwhelmed, but he's being hit with confusion at the moment, so I should have given him the ribbon. Same as Noctis. Let's just go ahead and briefly sort that out. Or we could try Gladius's tech. Even though Gladius's impulse is mostly used for AoE, could still do some nice damage here.
Hey!
Sorry. Not a whole lot because of the resistances that this NPC has. fire on this thing.
Felt been touched is all.
And I tell you what, we'll put Ignis's Overwhelm down to enhancement for the moment. And we'll see if we can't get Noctis doing some fire damage.
Good. Ain't got much life left in it.
Let's finish this.
Looks like we're going to be able to finish this thing off without too much trouble.
Nothing stand in your way.
There we go.
Got my back.
Always.
I even amaze myself sometimes.
Your ego is what amazes me.
Frankly, I'm just amazed we actually made it.
So we can now head back to a tipster and get this thing handed in. Just going to sort out my elements, and then I'll meet you all back in Lucius, where I'll be doing more hunts. And we'll be speaking to Viv, of course. Okay, I'm back in Lucius now, and we're going to go ahead and speak to Viv, tell him that we've done his wonderful quest.
Oh, don't tell me.
And his entire quest chain.
They got the photo all right.
Ooh, hey, you could knock me down with a chocobo plume right now.
This is the scoop you wanted.
I can't print this. Kids read my magazine. Wouldn't want their parents suing me. Plus, this thing was haunting the painting, right? So, who's to say it's not haunting this photo, too? This shot could come back to haunt me. I better hide it.
Oof. After all that trouble?
Look, I'll still pay you. You did what I asked. Heck, I'll sweeten the prize for you.
So, that's the end of Viv's questline. And we get 25,000 gil for our trouble.
Work has been so busy that I can't help but scream for joy.
Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you stock up on your Chocobo rental if you've just come back from Altissia. And I'm going to spend some time now doing even more hunts. Oh, the fun, enjoying it all. And I'll be right back with you once we do something different. I'm probably going to be finishing off the Scraps of Mystery quest during this episode as well. And then we'll get cracked on with the story. So, I'm off again. Well, at least from my perspective. Okay, I'm taking a break from doing hunts in order to finish off the Scraps of Mystery quest, and we're going to do that by completing the X marks the spot, which is the final part of the chain that we're doing. And you can see we get a nice 50,000 gil for completing this quest, so we are going to go ahead and complete this now. But before we do that, we're going to have to head into the volcano, which means there should be a hunt we can pick up.
Let's get a nice
now
meal
that we're
in
slightly higher level than when we last visited.
Want to put your skills to the test?
Feathered Giant of the Fire Smoke. Well, this could be a challenge. We have to kill a zoo for this one. That's the giant birds.
This the unlucky bastard? Take care now.
So we may as well pick that up. I'm not sure how we're going to do with that. It is a high level hunt. But you never know, we might have some success. And let's start heading towards the dungeon. We'll just hop onto the Chocobo and make our way there.
Easy now.
Try and head in the right direction, since I always get lost coming to this place. Mainly due to the fact that it is off the beaten track a little bit. So it's around about here we need to be.
It's time.
Heading towards.
Gladio, come on.
Gotcha.
It is night time now, but if need be, there should be a camping spot, a haven, in the actual dungeon itself. You can see it on the map. So we'll probably rest up there before we actually head on to do the main stuff that we've come for. So I believe this was it here. We just ran past the entrance. The shopper would ever so kindly make his way through, thank you.
Sleepy. It is about that time.
Like I said, always troubles me trying to get here. And there is a closer parking spot to the dungeon itself. Okay, it looks like we actually need to just, I don't know, make it around there. We'll see, we'll see. Got this lovely fence barring, is that a word? The way? If it isn't, I've just invented it. Oh, there's the path, I can see it. Right, so after that slight detour, I've made it to the entrance here.
Ah, thanks, buddy.
So this is the Rock of Ravito once more. We have done a few bits here already, including the Royal Tomb. We've done a quest for Viv, a photograph quest, and a few other bits and bobs as well. So first things first, I think we'll make it towards the campsite, and I'm just going to see roughly where everything is. So the hunt is getting pretty close towards the end. It's in the final area, probably in that giant cave that I know is at the end of this dungeon. And then the X marks the spot quest is also getting close towards the end.
Last thing I need now.
It's coming right at us!
Get away from there!
Let go!
Okay, so it seems entering the final area introduces you to the hunt immediately.
Meal, are we?
And it's circling for another pack.
We might not have a choice.
Looks like it's either him or us. Enough talk.
And I don't think I've actually done this
Time for some action.
So it'd be interesting to see how we actually get on with it.
What? You worried?
Let's head on down here so we've got a bit more space to work with. And that thing is Mahusi. Let's see if we can get into range so that we can start liberating the thing. I can't actually see what I'm doing here. Let's try and get the camera angle a little bit better. There we go. And I've got a feeling it's going to inflict a lot of pain. Hence, we're going to probably need to try and inflict even more. It's level 67, which means not only is it a massive monster anyhow, so even at level 30 it'll probably be a challenge, but it even out-levels us anyway. Okay, so it's weak to fire, which is good to know. Let's go ahead and throw some of that onto our hotbar here. And just before we do anything else, do I have anything that boosts magic? I haven't collected anything from the thingy. The Justice Monsters League 5 thing in Altissia. The rewards. But let's see what we've got in terms of other accessories. Nothing, apparently. So that's a little bit frustrating. I thought we'd have something. So we're going to have to make do with the magic that we have. Let's target it there. Did we miss? Oh, we hit it once with our tri-cast.
Everything we have!
Let's try and hit it before it flies off.
Nothing close, right?
Showtime!
Well, that's that.
It seems we've got a couple of hits in on it then. let's go to Ignis and set him to enhancement momentarily.
Hey, Ignis! Instructions!
No!
Let's lay on the fire enhanced destruction. And it's down. While it's down, we'll try and hit it again with Overwhelm. If it stays down. Yes, there we go. That was some nice damage there.
That's that.
Gotcha!
And if we can do it in 13 seconds, we should get this other reward as well.
Hell yeah!
And we did it. So that's the hunt sorted at least.
That's it.
What's what?
I've come up with a new recipe.
Can't wait to try it.
HP boost and critical boost. Not that exciting in all honesty. Right, so now we're going to have to get the map fragments. I just need to work out where it is. So I think we have to go down into the final section just before the actual tomb. So if we head over to quests here and just select that, then I can see that we do in fact have to head into this area. And I believe it's kind of on the edge.
The treasure's close. Let's comb the area.
Yeah!
No telling what we're gonna find.
Nor if we'll find
So
anything.
this is the final one we need to get now. Could this be it? I believe it could. And there we have it. That is the end of the Scraps of Mystery quest.
What do you know? It's really real.
Well, well, this isn't half bad.
Loads better than the heap of junk I was expecting. We can take this, right?
We played the game through to the end. I think we've earned it.
Finally, that quest was somewhat irritating, but at least it's one to add to the completed list now. And 50,000 gil is always welcome. Okay, so we're going to head back to the entrance, head back to the car, head back to Hand Hunting.
I'm done.
I mean, the car was actually located back
Welcome,
in town
boys.
anyhow.
Looks like you could use a good meal.
So we get a nice 4
That
stars
was a great help.
for that hunt. And some nice item and gil as well. So definitely was worth doing that since it was in the area anyhow.
You boys hungry? Come again.
But I'm going to get some more hunts done now. And then I'll be right back with you. So here we are back in the present. And it's just coming up to night time. I recommend that before you come here you head to a campsite in order to eat some food. Because now in the present Ignis is not very well. You know, he's a bit blind, which means that he's not going to be able to cook you any food. So head back to the past in Lucius to rest up at a campsite. Or there's a couple of meals you can eat in the train car there where you can also rest to have Umbra send you back if need be. Although they're not very good, in all honesty. So I'm just going to quickly loot any items that are around these parts. Rare coin. And a broken harmonica. And could venture on down there, see if there's anything else for us to loot. But I do want to get on with the story now, so we're just going to head towards the lift and head down into the quarry. where our next dungeon is going to await us.
Ready to set out?
So because of Ignis's blindness, we actually get the choice here of taking him along or leaving him behind. I'm going to choose to take Ignis along.
I'll manage
although it actually makes no difference what you choose, because even if you choose to leave him behind, he still comes with you. Now, a lot of people have criticised this chapter because it's really woven into the story, Ignis's blindness, which means that throughout this next dungeon he's going to be stumbling along, he's no use in battle, his techniques can't be used, and he just basically slows the whole thing down. You have to wait for him to catch up. Which, I agree, does get a little bit annoying.
A little out of my element.
We're a foreign species in this environment. Mind we don't end up prey.
Right. Good tip.
So there we get the message warning us that Ignis is going to be moving around at a slower pace. So we're just going to briefly head back.
Your step. As best I can.
Because there's actually an item we can pick up.
We'll wait.
As a matter of fact, you might want to come here.
Is it too much to ask? The royal procession sticks together.
See, we can already see how Ignis is going to be a problem. But the reason I'm heading back here is because there's an item we can go and pick up. Which is optional, of course. But it is a titanium bangle, which is a nice item to get. So yeah, what I was saying was you can come here during the daytime. And in fact, that might be a little bit better because it can be a bit of a confusing place to move around. And there's the item I want to pick up. So if you do want to head back, you just need to head up this ramp here to the left. But we're just going to crack straight on ahead and risk going out during the night. There is actually a rest point.
Don't push yourself, Ignis.
We can use further into the dungeon. But we've got a little bit of a ways to go before we do reach that. So for now, we're just going to have to take it at a slower pace because of Ignis here. What you can do, if Noctis is strong enough, and you don't mind the party having a go at you for it, is just race on through and solo everything, to be honest. I'm like 99% sure that that doesn't affect anything in terms of the story, or penalise you in any way. But it's really up to you. I mean, my Noctis is level 65, I believe, and as you can see I've got a ton of experience, 500k almost on every character. But what I have decided to do, and I did mention this in the walkthrough, but for the benefit of those on the live stream, is I'm not actually going to tally up any of this experience now. I'm using the experience band. Who's using that? Ignis has got that, so he has got some use. Look, I'm using the experience band to prevent that experience from being tallied up at rest points, and I'm going to be using that all the way through to the end of the game, so that we'll be completing the rest of the story at this current level, so that basically for those that are following my walkthrough and do not have the kind of levels and power that we would get by levelling up there, you know, I can at least go through the tactics and show you how it will work on specific fights, and everyone can follow along without being overpowered. And then once I've completed the story, we'll rest up, get to about level 90 or whatever, and start tackling some of the end game. So we'll just grab, I think there is a fire draw point, it's just over there on the other side of the barrier, so we'll come to that a little bit later. For now we're going to head back. Make our way around. Hello Neil, is that good? Is it Hearts of Iron 4? And I believe there's another item we can pick up. Yep, so we're just going to grab that first. We will of course have enemy encounters, but they're not particularly challenging in all honesty during this section of the dungeon. So, great swords, and we can see that these guys are weak to ice, and ice weaknesses and fire weaknesses are going to be your main elements to exploit in this place.
Hey, you should hang back.
Was I in the way?
No, you weren't. It's just...
And as you can see, the quest marker is going to update for us as to where we need to go and head to, which is, I guess, somewhat helpful for us. But I'll also try and grab the other items as we
Tomb
come
must
to
be down
them.
below.
Whoa, careful, Ignis.
Right.
I'm just going to go on my map and make sure that I can get my bearings correctly. Although there's not much to see on it, unfortunately. There's a draw point here for ice, but I don't need that for the time being. So we'll just continue to run towards the quest
They
marker
parked here?
Huh. Wish we could write him a ticket.
Nothing but a giant roadblock.
Ironic for a vehicle.
If we get its motor running, perhaps we can move it out of the way.
Okay, so now we need to head back the way we've come. So it is a little bit confusing, this dungeon. Like I said, it does help if you come during the day. At least you can tend to see a little bit more than you otherwise would be able to. But there should be a kind of control point or something for us to use here. And just keep following the quest marker. Look, it does the job for you.
This looks promising.
Is it operational?
We'll see.
Hey, what are you stopping for?
I'm not. Let's see here. In case of power failure, use backup generators. There's a key in the shed.
So now we need to head up the next fork.
Going it alone, huh?
And the whole time, of course, Ignis is going to be stumbling behind. So we just need to take things a little bit slower as we make our way down here. And we can head off left if we wish to do so, because there's nothing actually to do in terms of the progressing the quest here, but there's a lot of items we can grab. Well, I say a lot, I actually mean 2. But I am going to show those to you. And I'm just going to try and run here, even though Ignis is stumbling around, because as we turn around, we should catch back up with him again anyhow. Just head up here. There we go. There's the first one. A star pendant. Nothing too exciting in all honesty. And if we just head up to the north, then there should be another item for us to pick up. We might have to head up these steps here. Oh, hello, folks. Mr. Simseru and Peterson. Good to have you here today. I'm only going for an hour of the live stream. I haven't been live streaming for the last week, in all honesty, because of all the games that have been released recently, such as the Nintendo Switch, well that's a console, Zelda, and Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, I just assumed who's going to want to be watching me play Final Fantasy 15 from 2016. But I do want to crack on and get some more footage recorded for my walkthrough, which is why I thought I'd fire up the live stream as well anyhow, even if I don't get anybody coming to watch. So it's good to have you guys. Yeah, live streaming's not something I do all that much, Mr. Simsaru. But I have been doing a little bit more of it lately. And I think I'm going to be live streaming Kingdom Hearts once the PS4 compilation comes out at the end of the month. So anyhow, back to the game. Once you've collected those items, those optional items, from the western side there of the fork, we're just going to head up north here. And I just want to make sure that I have come up the right path, because as I say, it does get a little bit confusing. Yes, I have. And we're going to go west here, although there's another item we can pick up, so I'll pick that up first. I guess we just need to head up for it. I don't want to miss it. There it is. But I'm not going to go any further up these steps for the time being. On second thoughts, I am, because right at the end is a Mega Phoenix. If I was going through my own playthrough, I probably wouldn't be too fussed about grabbing it. But since somebody always complains if I miss an item, I'm going to go ahead and grab it anyhow. And now we can head back down those metal gantry steps and continue on once more with proceeding through the quest. Where's Ignis gone? Oh, it's probably completely lost now, isn't he, the blind fella? Down we go. And now this time we're going to head under the steps, or whatever it was this bridge is here, and continue to make our way around towards the quest icon. We've got some Snargers to kill. How lovely. The Snargers are weak to fire. Okay, let's go ahead and give them some fire. The Blade of Perenne, or whatever it's called, Fire Elemental two-hander.
Hurry up. Ain't got time to waste.
It's a good weapon for this place, as is the Ice Brand, since a lot of the creatures are also
Hey, Nox! Wait up!
And we'll just look around for another item once Noctis stops prancing around with his weapon. That sounds wrong, but here we go. An Earth Gemstone. Oh, awesome, Mr. Simseri. Yeah, this is a game I would definitely recommend. Not only to Final Fantasy fans, by the way, but also to fans of just open world RPGs.
Yeah, so much for sticking together.
And the quest will continue to update for us. And we just continue heading east here for a while. And there should be a couple more draw points, lightning and ice. Hello, Antonio. Oh, you finished watching the Final Fantasy 7 walkthrough? Hope you liked it. That's a bit of an anomaly, actually, for me, because I don't know what I did with that walkthrough or how it happened, but it became one of, like, the most popular Final Fantasy 7 walkthroughs on YouTube, which I'm very grateful for, of course. But a lot of people seem to have enjoyed that, which is awesome. So there's an item around here, I'm going to grab that. And I know there's a generator here that we need to...
Try thinking of others.
Nab.
Found it.
Good.
That takes care of the key.
Make sure you get the generator key, sorry, not the generator.
Then let's go.
Now we're going to head south at this point in terms of the quest, but before we do, I am just going to rest up. There's actually a rest point we can use here, as you can see. And this will bring it to daytime, which will not only make it a little bit easier for us to see the dungeon and where we're going, but also to keep track of Ignis and where he is. Has he completed the game, has he, Dope Smoker? Or is he just playing through it at the moment? We'll go ahead and camp. We are going to lose our buff, unfortunately. Because of Ignis's condition here, he's not going to be the best cook in the world, which means we only have basic food recipes from which to choose from. Sadly, that's it for Ignis now. By the way, he is blind for the rest of the game. Except when you travel back to Lucis. But since you are literally replaying Noctis' memories at that point, it is in the past anyhow. Now this is exciting. So we get to choose between the awesome chilled food tin, which massively boosts our attack by 30, sarcasm, or the cup noodles, which of course I recommend, and this is Gladiolus' favourite food. And we do get a bit of an experience boost from it as well as a higher attack boost. So we'll go ahead and select that now. As you can see, I've got a lot of experience, but we won't be tallying that up at this point in time. So I am not going to be adding any of our extra experience until after we've completed the main story now.
Took more photos today. You want to see?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Simply because boosting ourselves up to level 90 at this point would be a lot of fun. But for the sake of those who are watching my strategies and whatnot for the walkthrough, I don't want to be cheesing everything for their benefit. So I'll wait until we completed the story, then I'll add up all that experience to triple the rate at the Altisha Hotel. Oh wow, Mr. Simsu, I've never actually played the original Final Fantasy.
Don't run ahead.
Well, not then anyhow. I've probably dabbled in it since. But now we need to head south, down the right hand, the easternmost path here. And literally just need to start running all the way back. Gladiolus' impulse ability should do a nice amount of damage. If I can actually cast it. I don't know why it's not castable at the moment, so we'll just carry on fighting.
Apologies.
I guess it's all to do with Ignis's little blindness issue is why we can't use any techniques, even from the other characters there. Anyhow, I believe there's another item we can grab if we head over to the corner here.
Hey, Noct! Wait up!
A splendid building stone. We do have quite a tough boss fight at the end of this dungeon, so hopefully we'll get through that without having to reload a save game at any point. That'd be a bit of a nuisance.
No way to work the machine.
Take it out!
We can see that the Gigantoad here is weak to ice. So if you've got the ice brand, pretty good weapon.
bombs are always in the darndest places.
Where is it?
Right here.
How does it look?
She's wired and ready. Give it a go.
And don't blow it up.
Oh, thanks for the advice.
So we've got our key thing now. Let's see if that'll do anything.
Did it work?
Yep. One more to go.
And now we just need to continue heading on round. As usual, this place is made a lot less confusing thanks to the quest markers here that keep constantly updating for us. Gonna check there's nothing up here to grab. I didn't think there was, and there isn't. Where's Ignis? I mean, they have gone all out on this game, in all honesty. Even Ignis has fully updated animations now. If you watch him during battle, then he can collapse and all sorts because of his blindness.
We've got the power!
Might not have it for long, though. Hurry up and move the machine.
Yes, sir.
Right, so now we have the control panel to head to. We'll continue heading on down at this point. This will take us back to the original area. And it looks like the monsters have once again respawned for us because, you know, we wanted another fight.
Try thinking of others.
See what these are weak to, maybe knock them all out with a spell or something. That would be Blizzard. Let's head to Elemency here. Try cast Blizzard. And let's see the ponage with this.
Hey,
or not. That's annoying. Oh, we can cast impulse now.
Any last words?
I don't know why we couldn't cast that in the previous battle, but I do recommend levelling up Gladiolus' impulse.
You staying alive is enough.
As you can see, it really does lay on the damage. Great for AoE encounters such as that. For single target encounters, it's no use to us at the moment, but back when we're doing the endgame content in the old world, Ignis' overwhelm ability is the one for the job. And now finally we can head back to that original location.
Sounds like we're clear.
That was being blocked by the
Then
ship.
let's move.
Or whatever it was. So we'll head over there now. And we do have that quite tough boss fight coming up.
Highness.
I'm going to go ahead in preparation of that upcoming fight and get some fire art spells onto our bar here. You don't want to be using Blizzard on that boss fight that's upcoming.
Hold up. You sure you're ready for this? You got what it takes?
To do what?
To face your ancestors and convince them to lend you their strength. Got a long road ahead. Can you see this through? To the end?
We'll show some good resolve there.
Can and will. Whether I like it or not, I've got a duty to fulfill. As king.
You're damn right you do. Then that means you'd better start taking this seriously.
So our defense has increased, our physical defense, which is what vitality basically is. How useful is that going to be in the upcoming battle?
We did it! Together!
once again,
huge.
Head
The
to the
tomb's
quest
further
marker.
in? You want to wait here?
Alone. Here.
Not what I said.
And we've got more standard enemies awaiting this first
man.
one. Hopefully Gladiolus is in for
Something
once again
stinks
take
around
care
here.
of these guys.
Don't fall in whatever that is.
Here we go.
Any last words?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Going in alone, huh?
And the royal tomb appears to be blocked.
What is this?
I hate eggs.
Do we really want to know what's back there? That looks like a mouth. Is that its face?
At this point, if you've got anything to protect against the status ailments that this guy likes to cast, ribbons are a great accessory, then you might want to equip them. Gladiolus has the only ribbon I currently have equipped, so that he doesn't get confused and what have you when I want him to cast his awesome ability, Impulse. So, other than that, this guy is weak to great swords and to fire, so hit it with your strongest fire spells, and also note that it's going to spawn adds as well, so maybe wait for those before putting your spells on cooldown.
What is it? Something real bad.
Covered in drool.
But wow, this guy's going down quite quick. Don't be deceived by that. And we need to start hitting these little fellas now. This guy's going to keep healing himself.
It's useless.
What do we do?
This might be a good time to panic.
No. There must be a way.
So we get this strategy now to run, which we are going to do. If I can actually get up here. Okay. And now we need to go and take it down a second time. And then we need to basically watch for the marked location in order to actually kill it. So I think we might have messed that up a little bit, but we'll see what happens when we go in again here.
Watch out, Iggy. They're on top of us.
Thank you.
Don't thank me.
Try and dodge its bad breath, which it does pull back before it casts.
Look who's hatching!
Bust them up.
Gladio.
We've had some impulse
Any last
action here.
words?
Feels all tingly!
He's getting ready to cast, so we'll move out of the way. Oh, we've managed to get into vulnerability state beforehand anyway.
It's useless.
What do we do?
This might be a good time to get back.
No.
Now this time we need
must be
to
a
actually
way.
head to the correct marker. There we go, which is just over here. This is what I didn't do on the previous attempt, and should have done. So we can make our way over. I'm pretty sure we can kill it now.
idea. If I may...
Get back!
As I suspected.
It really worked!
And now it's vulnerable.
This is it?
It is! And it's all thanks to Iggy.
Iggy, you saved us.
Seriously. We'd be plant food if it weren't for you.
Happy to help.
What, no royal commendation from His Majesty?
None for you, at least.
So now we're going to go in and enter the royal tomb here. Big welcome to those who have just joined us on the stream. It's good to have you. If you're new to the channel, guys, please do go ahead and subscribe. Not only do you get a funky little pop-up on the stream here, but, you know, you'll just be kept up to date with future
Whisking
streams
them
as
just
and when
makes
they
a
go
mess.
live.
Better fry them.
So we're playing Chapter 10 here of Final Fantasy 15, and we've just killed the Marlborough boss. And we've burst through
We found it!
whatever
Just
that
wish
was.
they found a better place
and now
to
we can
build it.
actually access the tomb itself.
All right, let's haul ass.
Yeah.
So we get the katana of the warrior from this royal tomb. Very good. And that's pretty much us done now in this dungeon. We can head back to the entrance, but we get a cutscene first of all.
A moment.
Is everything okay?
It bloody well isn't. And I won't suffer this pointless bickering in silence any longer. Let's be frank. My vision hasn't improved, and probably won't. Yet in spite of this, I would remain with you all. To the very end.
Sorry, but I object. War is a matter of life and death.
But we'll be there.
It's not about us looking out for him.
Uh-huh. Well, then he should be free to choose.
There's more to it than just what he wants.
I know full well! I won't ask you to slow down. If I cannot keep up, I will bow out.
What says His Majesty?
Noct, you are king. One cannot lead by standing still. A king pushes onward, always, accepting the consequences and never looking back. Gladio, Noct will take his rightful place, but only once he's ready.
Have it your way. We're still taking a big risk. We better all be ready.
Right, so after that cutscene, the game gives us the ability to just return back to the train station here. And we can actually finish the chapter now at this point by boarding the train. Or we can head back to the old world in order to do some more optional content, hunts or whatever the case may be.
You guys mind if we stop in Tenebrae?
Might as well hop off.
If it helps him move on.
So we are making good progress now through the game itself. As I say, boarding the train at this point, speaking to this guy, will end chapter 10 and move us on ahead to number 11. There's 14 story chapters in all. So I'm going to take a break now, folks. and probably go and do some more hunts and whatnot off the stream, since they would just be mind-numbingly boring for you guys to watch. But I appreciate those who have joined me today, and thanks to those that have watched on the walkthrough as well. I hope this guide is helping you, and join me next time as we continue on with Final Fantasy 15. As always, if you enjoyed this, please do go ahead and like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, and I'll see you soon.